We have another award to dole out as we begin this Wednesday edition of Game On, and that's our WDUN Team of the Week. This presented by Carriage Automotive. There were a lot of teams that could fit into this category, but only one emerged as a team that should this particular week. The East Jackson Eagles have struggled mightily the last 2 years on the field, and this past offseason, they struggled off the field. The program hired a new coach who left shortly after being hired, and frankly, the program was in a bit of tumult. In steps Gary Hughes, however, who in a short time made a big impact that culminated with the Eagles snapping a 16-game losing streak this past Friday night against Banks County. Because East Jackson shone brightly on the other side of some dark days, they are our WDUN Team of the Week, presented by Carriage Automotive. I caught up with Coach Hughes earlier today and asked him about last Friday night's game.
Well, I think it's one of those. It was one of those games that I guess was kind of a test in terms of the validity of what we've been preaching and you know, what our core values are. I mean, obviously, it should not be the way that it is. It should not be that you have to be put to the test, you know, to see if what you're really saying is true and worthy of listening to. But unfortunately, you know, you got to validate that. And so, you know, that win last week, I think, really did both of those things. I think it validated for a lot of people that were on the outside kind of looking in as to what's going on and why things were happening a certain way and all that. But then secondly, I think the players that did believe that felt like this was the right way to go about doing things. I think, you know, winning last week after dropping the last 16 in a row, you know, was a big turning point, at least on an emotional side, you know, and from a trust issue standpoint. So, I mean, it's one game. It's 10% of your regular season, but certainly it came at a great time.
The way that you all won the game, you know, last minute, last few seconds, and then really holding Banks County as they started what would have been a game-winning drive and clearly wasn't, really speaks to that trust you were just talking about. You all trusting the players and the players trusting you. Talk about the last couple minutes of the game.
Well, I think there was a teetering point. I do. I think there was a point where, you know, and everybody goes through it. It's not certainly unique to us or our situation here, but I think everybody kind of goes through a point of which way do I go? You know, which way do I go? You know, I've been here lots and lots of times, you know, in this situation, and I maybe I didn't try as hard as I could have, or I wasn't as attentive as I should have been, or whatever. You know, you just fill in your reason for not doing your very best, and I think we were at a point there, and I remember challenging them on the sideline, coming in with the group that was on there about hanging in there and don't stop and just keep working, and you know, we got an important stop, you know, on defense, and then we got a nice little run on the first play from scrimmage, you know, on that drive, and then got another good run, and pretty soon it was, you know, all the dominoes were lined up, and you start ticking them down, you know, and all of a sudden it's just an incredible wave of momentum. You know, that's kind of the way it is in this game.
East Jackson with another tough test this week. They're going to play Commerce Friday night. We will have a complete preview of that game on the Burger King Tailgate Show beginning at 6 this Friday night on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. We want to congratulate Morgan Walters. We want to congratulate the East Jackson Eagles.